What's going on, everybody? It's Dice Dojo Tournament Round 3, and this is Shyhammer Fantasy. I'm going to go ahead and fight a Vampire Count army, and this was the last round of the day, and honestly, I apologize ahead of time. I have a lot less pictures than I normally have for this, because it was just the last match of the day, and it was probably 1 or 2 in the morning at this time, and my batteries are dying on my camera anyways. Here we go. Let's look at what he has to offer on his army. Now again, if you missed what I had for my army list, you could watch the first video. It shows you pretty much, but at the same time you're going to see most of it here, so it's kind of self-explanatory. Over here we proxied 30 ghouls with my Goblin Spearman, just because he didn't have the ghouls available, but that is Krell the Conqueror, or Krell the Destroyer. I forgot what his name is. I think it's Conqueror in the front, which he's a jerk, man. He's a hero. I think he's on he's under 200 points, but that axe, if it hits you and wounds you, it just starts to decay you every round, which is ridiculous. That is also his level 4 Necromancer standing right next to him. Right next to that we have a Black Coach, and then we have 2 units of Dire Wolves. In the far back right side you have a unit of 3 Vargheists, and in front of that it's a huge block of 50 skeletons. Inside that unit of skeletons we have Conrad, as well as the General, the Vampire Lord, who's also very fighty. I forgot what magic items he has. He also has a unit of Hex Wraiths hiding off to the side, and pretty much that's his army. We're going to go into the first turns here. We have Vanguards moving up. So he moved up his Dire Wolves. I go ahead and move up my Goblin Wolf Rider with the Great Weapon. And he saw that coming, so he goes ahead and he cock blocks with his Hex Wraiths, and his Hex Wraiths come over this way to fight my my Goblin Wolf Rider, which is fine and dandy. Let's get into start on turn 1. So first thing he does is just kind of move everybody up. He uses that block of Vargheists to kind of hold off in front of his General's unit. He doesn't really have any shooting, so we're going to go straight into magic. We got 10 power dice, and then he goes ahead and he does, I forgot, I think it's like the gaze or something like that. He does something that just kills off 2 goblins. Not too much on damage there. He's also proxying some of my goblins in the back there for some of his skeletons. As for the other spells, he tries to do Curse of the Years onto my guys, and I Dispel Scrolled it right off the bat, just because I know what it does. And pretty much that was it for his move. He kind of kept everybody kind of close together, so we're going to go ahead and start Orcs and Goblins turn 1. And first thing I do is I fail Animosity with Gorbad, and Gorbad is forced to charge, and he charges right into the Vargheist right in the front. Since Gorbad charged in, might as well charge in with the Ragnarok as well. He charges into these Dire Wolves over here, and I actually have my Goblin Wolf Rider run around the hut, away from the Hex Wraiths. Over here I moved up the Savages, and I also moved up the Night Goblins close enough to release the Fanatics. I started throwing Fanatics across to kill some doggies, and they just blew up that unit of dogs. Wasn't even like a fair chance for the dogs. Over here got in the magic phase, I got 8 power dice, and I'm going to go ahead and throw 6 of them onto the foot. First move, I got double 6s, so it's going to be Irresistible Force, and this is just actually the recoil from the foot. I killed off 2 of my guys, but I went ahead and I stomped onto, I believe I actually tried to stomp onto the unit of with Krell in it, and I killed off 2 ghouls, but then after that it drifted off and I couldn't do it anymore, so that kind of sucked. So I traded 2 Savage Orcs for 2 ghouls. That's pretty shitty. Over here I'm going to have the Doom Divers aim at the ghouls and Krell as well, and one drifts off and actually hits into the Black Coach, and the other one hits that unit, kills off 3 ghouls, and the Black Coach takes a wound. So I believe that was it. I tried to do another spell to, I believe actually to Raise Dead, and he stopped it. Grave Call, not Raise Dead. And then let's go into close combat. Close combat, Gorbad's unit wipes out, and I mean they wiped out those Vargheists. The Vargheist actually killed off 2 of my Boar Boys, but I think it's a fair trade. And as for the Ragnarok wipes out the dogs. It was again no contest. I mean, just 8 poison attacks and 8 with the Howdah crew. Jeez. Alright, so let's go into Vampire's turn 2. So the first thing he does is he actually reforms his hex wraiths to face this way because he knows that Arachnarok's going to go ahead and charge into his general's unit, and he's going to try to get into the rear of the Arachnarok. Over here, he charges into the side of the boar boys. He also charges into my savages with the ghouls. Like I said, the black coach actually gets to the side of the boar boys, and the giant unit with the general in it is actually charging straight on into Gorbad. Magic phase, he gets 7 power dice, and he does Curse of Years right onto my unit of the boars. He kills off 2 of them with that, and he actually killed my champion with it, which kind of sucks. And he also put a wound onto Gorbad with that as well. And then that was about it for his magic. He goes ahead and he tries to do like a invocation, I think, and I stopped it. So he's gonna have Conrad. He has Conrad over here make way into Gorbad, and Gorbad's gonna go ahead and try to punk up both the Vampire Lord. Gorbad got 2 wounds onto the Vampire Lord. The Vampire Lord wounded Gorbad once, and Conrad ended up finishing off Gorbad, and that kind of sucked. I mean, I have like the multiple D3 wounds and always strikes first. I thought I could at least took out the Vampire Lord before he had a chance to attack, but when he wounded me, he actually healed his wounds. So that really sucked. He killed Gorbad, which, yeah, those boar boys are probably going to have some problems really soon. As for the black coach, it put on another wound, took out another one of my boar boys. And then over here, Krell has to challenge, and I accepted it with champion. And we have a poor dead champion now. I was actually hoping I could have got at least a wound off on him based on just having the faster initiative, because he has always strikes last with his great weapon. Over here, though, the savages, you know what? They didn't care about Krell. They didn't care about the necromancer. They just killed some ghouls. Those savages ripped the ghouls a new one. They took out like 10 to 15 ghouls, maybe even I think it was 15 ghouls off of all their swings. They just mowed through them because, again, I got the charge, or actually he got the charge, so I didn't get the strength with Choppas. But anyways, and then we're gonna go into Orcs and Goblins turn 2 now, and over here we're gonna have the Ragnarok charge into the side flank of the skeletons. This is really what's gonna make or break this combat over here. As for the fanatics, I don't know how all my fanatics are doing this all day today. They just start running into everybody. They start running into each other. They start running into the terrain. They killed themselves. But at least they killed the dogs. Magic phase, come on, what the hell is this shit? 3 power dice? What am I gonna do with 3 power dice? I don't even remember what I tried to do, but it didn't even go off. Over here in this combat, we're gonna go into close combat. The black coach and the vampire lords, they took out all of my boar boys except for the standard. But guess what? It's time for that Arachnarok to attack back, and the Arachnarok, he takes out at least like 10 or 15 skeletons. And over here you're gonna see I mean, that's with the stomp, the thunder stomp. I got 6 off, which was crucial and needed. And then not only that, he the Howdah crew, you know, they got their +1 in strength on the charge with the spears. The spider goes ahead and took out some. Between how much the Howdah crew and the spider took out and the remaining boar boy, he crumbles. And not only does he crumble, he crumbles bad. I mean, he crumbled, I think, like 7 or 8 wounds, and it took out the black coach, and it took out a good chunk of that horde of skeletons. So that Arachnarok, he's making his money's worth right now. He's just taking out people, and I'm saying it right now on YouTube. Thank you to my sister who got me the Ragnarok for Christmas, because that thing is kicking ass. Alright, so as you can see, here's the aftermath of all that. No, don't have to worry about Black Coach anymore. And over here, this is the aftermath, or I'm sorry, this is the fight over here with the savages and the ghouls. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe out the savages, or the ghouls. I'm sorry, why did I keep saying that? And I take out so many. He challenges again. I take my shaman out of it. Shaman goes into the rear, and basically I kill all the ghouls off, and I'm just down to the necromancer and Krell left. So let's go into vampires turn 3. So for charges, he goes ahead and gets the hex wraiths right on my ass on the Arachnarok, and that's going to hold him up, which is not going to be good. Not only that, but now his vampire lords are pretty much free. That was about it for his movement. I'm going to go straight into magic. His magic phase, the Curse of Years, kills off my last boar boy, which that sucks. And then I believe his magic phase, he didn't do much. We're gonna go straight into close combat. Close combat, Ragnarok kills off 3 skeletons. Conrad and the Vampire Lord put on 2 wounds onto my Ragnarok right now, which, I mean, whew, could be worse. And then go ahead and stomp. And again, I'm just killing off piles of skeletons right now, which is lucky. Over here, we got killed off the Necromancer, and we're just gonna watch Krell crumble. And sure enough, he crumbles. So I got lucky there. And then we're gonna go ahead and start my turn. This is turn 3, Orcs and Goblins. And first thing I'm gonna do is I roll 10 dice on my magic. I believe just because I moved up my savages. And again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that I'm not taking pictures because it's really late at night. And as you can see, I moved up my night goblins with the short bows. I wheeled around the other night goblins with short bows, and then he reformed to face the spider. My wolf rider's coming into the rear of the hex wraiths right now, which you can't see in this picture, but it happened. 10 power dice. I go ahead and throw them onto the Bigfoot, and I threw them all onto Hand of Gork, and I threw this unit of night goblins with short bows over here, way past his unit of skeletons, and I threw the 3 fanatics right through all his skeletons, and they took out a good chunk of them. I mean, they probably killed like maybe 10 of them, I want to say. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the dice onto Grave Call, and I throw up a unit of skeletons right behind his unit here. And basically, this is actually where we have the end of the game. This is only like turn, 3 or 4, just because it got really late at night. But just based on how much damage the Fanatics did and how much damage the Ragnarok did, Ragnarok only has 2 wounds. His Vampire Lords and Conrad may actually put a couple more wounds on the Ragnarok, but the Ragnarok has 8, and I still have a very healthy unit of savages coming up to the flank right now. By turn 4, they would have came in. Yeah, he has those hex wraiths with his great weapon, and they actually do put a couple more wounds onto the Ragnarok. There's some more that happened after this. I ended up wiping out all his skeletons except for the generals, obviously. But like I said, I have the savages coming up. I still have 2 healthy units of archers, and I still have my level 4 shaman to stomp on some people and kill off those hex wraiths, hopefully. And not only that, my goblin wolf rider's still up there as well, so he probably could have chaffed up and held the hex wraith still for a turn or 2. So overall, I wish I took more pictures, just because this is one of the most fun fights I had all night, and it's getting down to the wire. We actually counted up the points after this turn. Unfortunately, we had to call it there, and it was a draw. I mean, he had probably like 700 points just in Conrad and the Vampire Lord, maybe 800 points, and I had probably around like 1,200 left. And not only that, I had 2 Doom Divers that weren't even shooting at anything. But yeah, I had like 1,200 points. He had 700 in that unit and probably like 100 more in the Hex Wraith. It was really close. But he did kill my general, which sucks. And that kind of got it closer to a draw. So we called it a draw. This guy who with the Vampire Army, he actually won 2nd place for the night. The person who won 1st place was actually my brother with his Skaven army, and then 3rd place was another Vampire army, which is Aaron, that I always have on the other vampire fights that you would normally see. And it was a fun tournament. It was a good tournament for a lot of people who were just starting off the game or starting off the game again. And we will be seeing a couple of these guys returning in the following tournaments coming up. We're going to throw another Dice Dojo tournament up in the beginning of May, 1st weekend of May. So that'll be fun. And if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And again, I really apologize. I know this video is a lot shorter than my other videos. It's only 3 turns on this one. But again, it was just a fun fight, and I'm going to be continue painting that Arachnarok because I have the whole Howler crew to assemble still. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Next video is my Easter Battle Royale, and I'll see you guys then. In the meantime, take care and peace.